Well, hi. Last we spoke, we explored the absorbent and yellow and porous lives of one of our most distant animal ancestors, the sea sponge. That hair was ridiculous. Today, we're stepping back into the ocean to meet a group of creatures who are a bit more complex than sponges, but still simple enough to be almost unrecognizable as living animals. The comb jellies, phylum Ctenophore. This is a phylum so commonly overlooked that they rarely get more than a page of attention in most zoology textbooks. And that's a real shame, because look how cool. But what is a Ctenophore? Why are they called comb jellies, and where do they fit on the timeline of animal evolution? We'll answer all these questions and more as we continue exploring the Tree of Life. We back, baby. The name comb jelly comes from this animal's most unique defining characteristic. 8 rows of hair-like cilia, arranged like the teeth of a comb, I guess. Anyway, these rows of cilia push in a wave-like motion to propel them slowly through their environment. Now admittedly, using cilia to move around is not all that uncommon in nature. It's just usually restricted to animals that are microscopic. And with some species reaching 1.5 meters in length, Ctenophores are the largest creatures on the planet to use cilia for movement. They don't move particularly fast, but you try swimming through the ocean by waving your hairs around and we'll see how far you get, hater. But what they lack in speed, they more than make up for in being kinda sticky. Many Ctenophores have a single pair of tentacles covered in adhesive cells called colloblasts, which they wave around as they swim to catch and subdue prey, including plankton, small crustaceans, and even other Ctenophores. You may be asking yourself, how do Ctenophores make more Ctenophores? Easily. You see, most Ctenophores are hermaphrodites, meaning that they produce both egg cells and sperm cells. They simply eject their eggs and sperm into the ocean, where they eventually bump into other eggs and sperm to form an embryo. They don't even get married first. Comb jellies are found, pretty much wherever you see water on this little globe here. Shallow and deep waters in marine environments worldwide. And you might expect a 500 million year old animal with a global range to be quite diverse. But as of right now, there are only about 150 described species of Ctenophore. Now that might sound like a lot, granted the ocean is a very big place and there's still plenty to discover, but 150 for an entire phylum is really not that much. Even so, they do come in a pretty impressive variety of shapes and sizes. They range in length from just a few millimeters to 1.5 meters. Some are round, some are flat, some swim, some crawl, and some do this. But one trait that they all share is that they're very mysterious. And not just because they look like underwater alien ghosts. The mystery lies in how closely related they are to all other animal species. You might remember me saying, the goal of this series is to explore every living branch on the animal tree of life. And where better to start this journey than at the very beginning, with the most ancient animals in evolutionary history that are still around today, the sponges. But according to some new research, that might have been a dirty, dirty lie. I'm so sorry. There are 2 main hypotheses on the early evolution of animal life. The sponge sister hypothesis claims that sponges were the earliest creatures to split from the common ancestor of all other animal groups, while the Ctenophore sister hypothesis claims that comb jellies made this evolutionary leap first. This debate has raged on for decades, and for a long time, it seemed like sponges won the title of oldest animal group, because they're just so much more physically simple than comb jellies and pretty much every other animal. Aside from their ability to move around and do little somersaults, comb jellies have a simple nervous system, which is something that sponges lack. But in May of 2023, a research article was posted that showed strong genetic evidence pointing towards the Ctenophore sister hypothesis. But Jason, you say, why don't scientists just look at the fossil record and trace back the oldest animal lineage? This is a good question, and the answer is surprisingly simple. You see, comb jellies are mostly just goo and water, so they don't produce fossils very often. Fossil Ctenophores do exist, but they're pretty few and far between. Ctenophore-like fossils have been found in the Burgess Shale fossil formation in the Canadian Rockies, which means they were around at least 508 million years ago. That's older than dinosaurs, older than sharks, older than jellyfish, and almost old enough to be a US senator. So, are ctenophores the oldest animal group living today? I certainly don't know, and it's more than likely that nobody will ever know for certain. But one thing I can say with absolute confidence is that comb jellies are fascinating, they're important, and they're downright beautiful. Even if sometimes they do this. Next week, we're going to meet a tentacled phylum of animals that have mastered the art of looking like cute little water flowers and floaty, stingy space balloons, the cnidarians. Until then, stay curious, stay connected, and never stop evolving.